All right. Well, welcome everybody. We're so glad that you are attending us live today, or you're maybe watching this as a recording. For those of you that are watching a recording, we'd really love to see your feedback in the comments, or you can send us a quick email at support@growmyprofit.com. We're always excited to hear from those who are engaging in our content. We've got an exciting presentation today that's part of our workshop series around marketing. If you're not familiar with Jeff and I are brothers. We're the co-founders of growmyprofit.com. And after 25 years running our own businesses, we decided to start up a consulting and coaching company together. And we're dedicated to help business owners to grow sales, grow revenue, grow profits through our 6-step process. And being young boys that grew up in Southern California, we're very active, love sports. Jeff's into more of the X Games sports. I'm more of into the traditional football, basketball stuff. But as brothers, we grew up very active, loving to be able to have fun together. Jeff's a big car guy. My dad, or our dad, owned a car auto body business for 30 years. And so we grew up in the auto body business and became entrepreneurs at a very young age, and graduated through sales and had very successful businesses. Jeff just had an 8-figure exit selling his marketing agency 3 years ago, and he's got lots of experience in crafting irresistible offers. So I'm excited to have him join in with us today. Jeff, welcome to our Zoom session. I see that you joined us from
Yeah,
Montana.
sorry I was late. Our dad turned 81 years old today, June 12th, and I was at his house. I'm in Montana, and I have a house like 10 minutes. So I was having breakfast with him, and I'm like, crap, I got to get home and get on this video. So our dad's 81 years old. I had a great breakfast with mom and dad. They're 10 minutes away in Montana. But anyways, super happy to be here, but sorry, I was like 3 minutes late, rushing over.
So we've been working through the 6-step process in helping business owners to scale their sales and revenue and profits by walking through fundamental steps that are proven to be successful. So assessing your ability to scale, defining a business plan, and refining it to the point where you have a financial scorecard that guides your ability to scale 2 to 10x in the next 3 to 5 years. That's our guarantee. Our promise, our offer is that we will help a business owner to scale 2 to 10x in 3 to 5 years if they are willing to take the steps. Today, we're going to be diving into creating and refining your irresistible offer. But we also have steps around sales and leadership and operations that we'll cover in future sessions. You can take a look at our online learning management system, Scale University, where we have a lot of resources and courses. All of this is available online. You'll see the website here, growmyprofit.com/virtual. All of our marketing workshops are posted in the marketing and lead generation section. There's a full course on our 6 steps here. We've been doing extraordinary entrepreneur interviews. We did a 30-day challenge, and then the extraordinary life course is based on a book that I wrote a couple years ago around designing and living an extraordinary life. And all of those are available for anyone that decides to become a member. It's a very small nominal monthly fee, but you can kind of get an idea of what this looks like here in your screen that you're seeing in front of you. There's a detailed section on creating an irresistible offer that gives you more details. And so if you don't take copious notes today, it's okay. A lot of this is covered inside of the platform if you choose to go in there and access the course. But all these questions that are listed here in step 3 of our 6-step process are answered inside of this platform. But we're going to break into these detailed sections of the marketing section using these workshops. So last week we talked about defining your target audience. Today we're talking about creating an irresistible offer. And the next 4 Wednesdays, we're going to be walking through these other sections live right here, same time, same channel. For those people that want to join us live, recordings are going to be posted inside of our Scale University. So, Jeff, the common side effects of a resistible offer, we're going to be talking about how to create an irresistible offer, but common side effects that you've seen around people's offer that doesn't get the kind of conversion that they want. These are some of the common things that we've seen. After 20 some odd years in marketing and advertising and running an agency and spending millions of dollars of your own money, running marketing campaigns, you've kind of proven some of these strategies to be true. So give us some feedback about your experience and what you've done in the marketing business and how you've learned to create more irresistible offers using copywriting and some of the principles that we'll be sharing today.
When I first got into business, I mean, I started as a salesperson and I got to learn a little bit about marketing. And I remember my sales coach, my sales manager told me something. He said, Jeff, if you ask the right questions, they'll tell you how to sell them. And that was more of a sales training. I'm like, wait, if I ask the right questions, the prospect will tell me how to sell them. So he also told me, Jeff, God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. There's a reason for that. Listen twice as much as you talk, like shut up and listen. So I took that to heart and I would ask a lot of questions. And I'll tell you, when I took that information over my 30-year career, one of the ways that I used it is when I started my ad agency 10 years ago, I had just lost a huge mortgage company where I was making millions of dollars and the mortgage business crashed and it was bad. And I had to rebuild from nothing, from literally nothing. And I was in my barn and I was calling customers trying to start this ad agency. And I remember I would call, let's say like 5 customers, and every customer I would say something different, like, here's what I've got. Do you like it? Will you buy it? And they'd be like, no, I don't like that. I don't need that. And then I would try a different script. And I'd say, hey, here's what I got. And here's how it comes. And would you buy this from me? Oh, that's kind of interesting. And I remember like the first day, on the phones calling, and I was asking the right questions and they were telling me how to sell them. They would tell me what they needed. What did the marketplace need? What I was bringing to the marketplace, what I liked and what I thought was great, really wasn't that good. The customers redirected me and say, hey, if you can come out with this, I'd buy it from you. And I knew if I could sell this particular product to a mortgage company, that there'd be thousands more that would buy it. So my offer literally changed in the first few months from something I thought was great to something different. So I think if you listen to your audience, they'll tell you, ask the right questions, they'll tell you how to sell them. Listen twice as much as you talk. So for me, the offer was basically a script on telemarketing. And I tried 5 different scripts, and one of them was like 10 times the response as the other 4. So I dropped the 4 and go with the 1. And then I start refining that through the years. And so my product, my offer literally changed every year for 10 years until I finally got the company to do $40 million in revenue, made $16 million net profit one year, because my offer was just kept getting fine-tuned and perfected. So I don't care if it's an offer that you put in the newspaper, direct mail, email, Google, pay-per-click. I don't care where you're putting it. It's a matter of perfecting that offer and listening to your customers, because they'll tell you what they want. So you're actually just humble enough to listen and change your offer to where it finally matches the marketplace. And we call that product offering fit, or product market fit is like the new word for it. But for me, it was just, who am I calling? Who's my customer? And what's our offer? List and offer is everything. I spent hundreds of hours on that. And that's what made the difference. It wasn't all the secret tips of hiring the best salespeople or having the best marketing, or here's how you do marketing. It was literally just keep refining the offer. So it's not a stagnant one-time thing. It's always moving. So all these people on the call and listening have different businesses, different offers, but I don't care if it's B2B, B2C. I own a wedding business now. When I offer free wedding invitations, if you do your wedding here, not that great of an offer. But if I say, hey, free website, build a website for your guest to RSVP and show pictures of your engagement photos, that was a really good offer. But I'm listening to the customer and I'm always refining the offer. So I don't know, kind of a long answer to your question, but I think an important one, that it's ongoing. You're always working on it and you're trying to make it better. And I didn't succeed my first year in business because my offers sucked. But I'll tell you what, after a year in, I did $1 million in sales my first year. My second year, I did $3 million in sales, and I made probably 400 grand, which was a pretty doggone good income for a second year in business. It's all about the list and the offer. And we talked about lists last week. Who is your target audience? And then what do they want? What problem do you solve? That's a big question today. Like if I'm coming out with a company and a product and trying to take sales from $1 million to 100 million. What problem do you solve? Sit down and spend some time on that, because you might be solving a problem you don't even realize, or your product doesn't solve anyone's problem, and you got to go to work on it. Let's go fix some bigger the problem you solve, the bigger money you make, right?
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, solve rich people's problems and you too will be rich. And if you solve poor people problems, you may still be poor. Because at the end of the day, it takes transactional revenue as well as transformation as part of that process. But today we're going to give you kind of a broad stroke overview on some of these 7 principles that we believe can help you to develop an irresistible offer if you have product market fit. Obviously, that is work that we can't do for you. We have to be we can do it with you. We can walk that journey with you and help you to determine what that product market fit is. But as Jeff said, that's more of a process. It's not an event like we're going to have today. So this is a broad overview. So the question that we're hoping to get today is, what's your unique value proposition? Do you have a unique value proposition, or do you have a unique selling proposition? And then we're going to talk through these 7 principles: contrast, urgency, reciprocity, scarcity, opportunity, risk reduction. Oh, I forgot my 7th one. I'll put my 7th one is on the list here. So that's going to be the bonus one, but we're going to walk through each one of these together, and it's going to spell out the word cursors. So if you want to remember that, our goal today is to, at the end of today, we want you to know what the acronym cursors stand for and how you can run your offer through a bit of an audit and make sure that every one of these aspects is on your or in your offer, not every one of them, but at least some of them. You don't have to have all of them. You just need to have some of them, at least one of them. There's number 7. Sorry, social proof is number 7. So there's your bonus one. So let's walk through these together, Jeff. And then we've got a few people that have offered to share their offer with us and see if we can help them to make it more irresistible. So the very first one is contrast. In contrast, the things you want to consider is, first and foremost, Jeff already said it, but we want to reiterate it. You have to have a clear understanding of your target audience and what motivates them to make a purchase. If you don't have that, that's step number 1. But once you know that, then you can begin to contrast or compare your offer to other people's offer. So when you have a competitor, or you have maybe 2 offers in your own service package that you can compare against each other, you want to be able to compare and contrast to show them the benefits of what it is that you bring to the table versus what it is that the competitor brings to the table. So Jeff, you've had some experience in doing contrast type of offers, visual aids, graphs, charts. I mean, obviously, if you're using interest rates, Tony's here. He's a leader in the mortgage industry. Graphs and charts using comparative analysis. I mean, not that they want to sell on price alone, but being able to offer price and benefits that are associated with price. What's been your experience with utilizing the contrast or comparison principle?
Well, I'm going to tell a quick story that I think is pretty relevant to offers. I don't know if it's going to exactly answer that question, but I had to look it up on my phone because I couldn't remember the name of the company. So you guys have probably all heard of a company called Vistaprint. Go to vistaprint.com. They're on television. When they came out 10 years ago, I remember their first ad said something like, "We'll print 100 business cards for your business for free." I'm like, for free? How do they do something for free? Business cards? I mean, it doesn't cost a lot of money to print 100 business cards. Maybe it costs $10. But how do they do it for free? I was like kind of in shock. I was in the printing business, and these guys are running ads, 100 business cards for free. And then what I figured out is going on their website, once I bought the 100 business cards, I think I probably bought from them for free. It cost them $10 to acquire a customer. I was now a customer. It cost them $10 in free business cards to get all my contact information. I became a customer of Vistaprint. Guess what? Over the next year, dear God, they're trying to sell me a website, brochures, trifold. I mean, if you look at Vistaprint today, I didn't look it up. I'm going to after this call. I don't know, 100 million, $500 million company. I remember when they started, they had an irresistible offer called, "We'll send you 100 business cards for free." No one was doing that, right? And it was a way to suck you in and just get you on their customer list. And then all the upsells along the way. There's a good example of an irresistible offer that nobody was doing. A lot of people do that today, but 10 years ago, nobody was doing that. Spend money and ship a product for free, but $10 customer acquisition cost. They knew that I was going to go spend $5,000 with them over the next 3 years, which I did. And pretty amazing when you look at an irresistible offer. How do I do free? You know, you got a lot of software today. I was at a SaaS conference in Austin, Texas a few months ago. And I don't know if you guys use a company called SCM Rush. Letter S, letter E, letter M as in Mary, Rush, scmrush.com. I was spending $300 a month on that product because I could go on that website and check out all my advertisers and see all their ads that they were doing online. It's an amazing tool. It was $300 a month. And I watched the CEO talk about, Jeff, we've got 50,000 paying customers paying $300 a month. Company's worth $100 million, but we have another 50,000 customers using the free version. I'm like, the free version, what's that? 50,000 customers are using that product for free. And every month they move 50,000 free, like 5,000 of them move over and start paying $300 a month. I mean, that's the game of the internet nowadays. This is all very, you guys have heard of this. It's nothing new, but when you look at an irresistible offer, how about free? How about what's it cost to get a customer in the door? It's such a powerful tool. I mean, maybe you sell, Ferraris, so you're not going to give them a $400,000 car for free, but there's something around that. You could do a test drive for free. You could go take them to the racetrack for a weekend, and instead of charging 15 grand for Ferrari race school, maybe you do it for 5 grand and people pay. And the next thing you know, they're buying a Ferrari. I mean, I'm just thinking Ferrari's kind of out there, but watches or real estate or mortgages. What can you do? Free credit report, free fix your credit. You've got a 640 FICO, you need a 700. I'll fix your credit for free. Get them into the pipeline, start working on them. Offers have gone crazy today, but I don't know, kind of a long answer, Dave, but I think relevant when you're thinking about your offer and making it better.
Yeah, the other thing that you could do is you could offer a comparison on services. So if you don't want to be in the freemium economy where you're giving things away for free, maybe you offer a comparison of services. So when you're using Augustine as a roofer, he's going to come in and replace your roof. Well, what could Augustine offer in the form of services? And it could be weekly communication. It could be 24-hour customer service. It could be 24-hour hotline. It could be online 24-hour access to status progress updates, where he provides a progress update of when the home's going to be replaced or when the project's going to be completed, or anything that would be valuable. Think about what are the things that your clients or customers want, need, and desire, and think about a way that you could offer services that would be above and beyond what the competition's offering. That's
I was
one
just
way
thinking something for Augustine. There's a company I was doing direct mail for that installs the gutters at your house where the leaves don't get into it. I think it's called leaf filter. It's like gutters, rain gutters, so the leaves don't get in it and cause a fire or cause roof leaks, right? So an offer for Augustine could be a free clean out of your roof gutters. Or we normally charge $300 to come out to your house and clean the gutters. We'll do it for $30. That's an irresistible offer. You're probably too old to get on the roof. You shouldn't be climbing a 40-foot ladder if you're 70. So you go out there and you're cleaning their gutters for break even. But guess what you're looking at when you're up there? You're looking at the roof. Hey, you got a roof leak. You might want to think about upgrading or repairing, or by the way, we're roofers. So you got $30 to acquire a customer that might spend $30,000 on a roof. So you start building your database on free roof gutter clean out, right? It's something that has nothing to do with the roof, really. It's gutters, it's leaves, but it's a problem. People have a problem, they have to fix it. They're looking for a solution, but you just onboard them into the database. I mean, that's just something for a roofer that kind of out of the blue, because I saw Leaf Filter is the name of the company. I did some advertising for them, and they're now hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. Dear God, they're spending $10 million a month on television. They've gotten really big. And that's leaf filters, which has nothing to do with roofs, but you're looking at their leaves in their gutters, and now you're up on the roof. So you get a customer for a cheap price who remembers you helped them out. Somebody climbed the ladder, cleaned out the gutters, take you an hour, but now you're invested in this client. Who are they going to come to when they have a roofing problem? It's a little out there, but just looking at offers. I mean, when I sold direct mail to mortgage companies, one of the things I did is I called my 10 biggest customers as the CEO of the company, and I said, why did you buy from us? I know you can buy direct mail for 30% cheaper. You could save $30,000 a month going to my competitor. Why do you buy from us? And I heard things that I would have never expected, like, well, your sales rep does this and nobody else does that. Or when I call your customer service team, they respond within an hour. All those cheap guys take 2 to 3 days. Your product works better. I tried 3 of your competitors and yours outperformed by 30%. So I'm willing to pay 30% more. Talking to your customers, finding out your 10 biggest customers, why they buy from you, they will tell you how to rewrite your offer of stuff you weren't even thinking about. It was crazy. I thought I knew. I think every owner of a business, I think I know why people buy from me. They get kind of cocky and they're not humble enough to go ask. That was an amazing thing that I got to hear. And I rewrote offers. You know, they can buy my product from 10 other companies 30% cheaper. So what I did is I started adding on auxiliary products like, Jeff, when I buy direct mail from you, you record all the phone calls and send me emails so I can use that for my sales training, and I can figure out who to fire that's not doing a good job on the phones. Just the fact you record all the phone conversations is amazing. I like that better than your main product. And so you learn from customers. So it's good to call your top 10 customers. They could all buy somewhere else cheaper. Find out why they're buying from you. That'll help you fix your offer and add stuff to it that will get more people.
Wonderful. Well, that was C, using contrast is the first principle. The second one is creating a sense of urgency. And most people know this, that FOMO is a powerful strategy and you don't want to abuse it, but you could definitely leverage it using limited time offers such as a special discount or a bundled package or free shipping, offering exclusive deals to a select group of clientele or candidates would be another one, and doing it for a specific amount of time. So having a deadline, having a countdown timer, having a limited number that you're going to provide. We'll talk about scarcity in just a moment, but timing, Jeff, creating a deadline, people will do things because of a fear of missing out. So if you wait for them to make the decision on their own, they'll oftentimes just be in analysis paralysis, or they'll suffer from decision fatigue. So any other strategies that you would recommend around creating an irresistible offer with a sense of urgency?
I'll give you a modern day example because I've been in 4 different businesses, B2B, B2C, back to B2B, now I'm B2C again. So it works in every business. Everybody's like, oh, Jeff, you can't help me fix my business because it's so special. It's so different. It's not that much different. My wedding business, good example. The bride comes in, or the, whatever you call it, the engaged couple, they're not brides yet. She comes in and she wants to buy a wedding. And we go, listen, our wedding that Saturday in October is $20,000. And she says, there's 47 other venues and we got pricing for $16,000. So why are you $4,000 more? And I made my sales office put up a whiteboard in the sales office that shows our 68 weddings on the calendar. And they're like, Jeff, a whiteboard is so outdated. We don't want to do a whiteboard. I'm like, I don't care if you want to do a whiteboard. We're doing a whiteboard. Because when the bride or the engaged couple comes in and sees that whiteboard with 68 weddings, and we go, the reason we're $20,000 instead of 16,000, everybody wants to get married here. Look at our calendar. And they look up and they're like, oh my God, your date, Saturday, October 23rd, is open right now. Next week, it's going to be gone. So you can go shop and go to all the other wedding venues, and maybe you can find someone to do your wedding for 16 grand. It's not going to be as nice as here at Hawk Ranch, but look at that calendar. The dates are going. And sometimes, I don't know if you've ever been to a car lot and you're looking at a car and all of a sudden another sales rep comes over and they move the car and go, hey, I got another person looking at that car right now. And it scares the heck out of you. You're like, I want that car. It's all pretend. It's all marketing, the offer, scarcity. So, timing, There's only one Saturday, October 23rd, 2024. So we use that a lot in wedding sales. I could go into examples of how I did it in B2B sales, which is a little different, Jeff, you're going to run out of paper, you're doing junk mail. I'm mailing 10 million letters a month for mortgage companies around. You're not going to run out of paper. So it became a little bit harder to make scarcity in some of the offers. But if you think about it, there's always something you can do to create fear of missing out, but it's got to be real. And the sales team has to buy off on it. If it's phony and pretend, it's kind of stupid. Don't do it. It doesn't work. I'm not looking to trick people. I want to come up with legitimate reasons why next week we have a tour and they're going to sell your Saturday. You can't get married here. That's your wedding date,
And being the eternal optimist of, like Marshall's in the financial services industry, he may not be able to have the same strategy around urgency that Tony has with interest rates, but he has limited amount of time. I have a limited amount of time. I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be doing other things. I have some time this week. So just in the offer to put more people into a conversation is that you give them your availability and you give them a time frame. And
well, with Marshall, it's like, I told myself I'm only going to work with 50 customers and I've got 47 right now, or I've got 23 and I've only got a few months left and then my customer database is full. I won't be taking on any more new clients. I've got a special fund that's getting 8% rate of return, but they'll only let 3 investors into it. It's not an unlimited fund. There's limited money. I can go down that financial services road, create fear of missing out without lying. You can do it legitimately. I'm not saying to, completely lie about it, but it's like, there's a limited amount of customers. He's only got so much time. He's going to have a full book of business and not be able to take on new customers. I've called attorneys and CPAs, and they're like, Jeff, I got a full book of business. I'm going to have to fire a customer to bring you on because I don't have any more time. So you can talk about your personal time. And it's kind of that, what's the word I'm looking for? Not edification, but posturing is the word I'm looking for. I am posturing, which is more of a sales thing, but I think you can posture in marketing. It's just as important in marketing. Posture your company like people are coming to us all the time. I don't know if you're going to be able to get in here and buy from us because we're in high demand, a lot of repeat customers, a lot of referrals. We don't do any advertising because we get so much referral business. We can't keep up with the business. You can only come in here next week. There's a lot of ways to do that.
Yeah, and like Jeff said, doing it with high integrity, not making something up in the ether, but definitely creating a sense of urgency. So there's ways that you can do that, and we can talk more specifically with you individually about how that may pertain to your business. But the next one in the Cursor's acronym is reciprocity. And this one may not be as easy to come up with ideas for your business, but think about things that you can give to people as a free gift. Anytime you give people something of value, there is an immediate sense of obligation. People don't like to be indebted to somebody, especially if somebody just keeps helping them. They want to think about ways that they can help that particular person, especially maybe you've gone into a car dealership and they've offered you a free water or a soda or coffee or something. Anytime you walk into an organization and they give you something for free, the samples at Costco, they're trying to get you enticed into the idea of trying what it is that they have. Using data and analytics to tailor your marketing message to individual customers. And Jeff could talk a little bit more about how he did that with his marketing strategies. Jeff talked about asking for feedback about things that they like and they value, and then offering exclusive deals specifically for a small targeted group of customers as an exclusive offering. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in more detail. But anything that comes with the area of free trial or some sort of a free gift, Jeff, that maybe makes it irresistible. Like if I'm going to get that for free, or if I'm going to be able to access that, why wouldn't I do that?
I'll tell you another real life story. So my wife and I have a big Indian casino in Temecula down the street from us. We go over there. It has the best steakhouse in town called the Great Oak Steakhouse. They do awesome concerts. I'm going to see Jerry Seinfeld there in October. He's playing. We're not big gamblers, but we go over to this casino. And every time I go in there, like if it's a Wednesday night, there's all these people walking around with free gifts, right? The casino is dead slow on Wednesday. So what they do is they give away like pots and pans for like Wednesday night if you come to the casino. And you see there's like hundreds of people carrying a bag, and they get one pot that probably costs the casino $20, and it gets you to show up, get the free gift. What do you spend gambling? $100, $200, $2,000? And I'm like, well, all these people must be poor. Because if you're coming to Pechanga Casino to pick up a $20 pot, like a pan for free, you must be poor. Well, I met a guy the other day who he pulled out his casino card. And this casino card, I think you have to spend $500,000 a year gambling to get a green card. It's a jade card at Pechanga, $500,000 a year. And he's holding his bag. I'm like, dude, this guy is a heart surgeon making millions of dollars a year, dropping 500 grand at the casino. And he drove out on Wednesday to pick up a $20 pot. And he goes, yeah, Jeff, they're giving away the whole set. If you come every Wednesday for 5 weeks in a row, I'll have this whole set of, Teflon coated, they're nice pans. But dear God, I'm like, I would never in a million years drive to a casino to pick up a $20. I would never, but there's hundreds of people walking around with their bags. It's hilarious. So that's what I mean. You just don't know. Free gifts work. The casinos use them. I'm always paying attention to very successful companies, organizations at their sales and marketing plan. Timeshare is great. People will go sit through a 2-hour timeshare to get a little TV that costs $50. It blows my mind. People that make 100 grand a year, $1 million a year going to get a free gift, you'd be surprised how that'll motivate people. So I only tell you that long story because you don't know. You think you know, you do not know. I don't know. I'm shocked at what people will do. So a free gift is kind of a big deal. Not for everyone. You'd never attract me to your place of business with a free gift, but a lot of people will respond to that. And you have to be aware of that. So I think a free gift is a great idea. High perceived value. I could tell you a lot of stories because all my car dealer clients would do free gifts. Come down to the dealership this weekend and pick up your, dear God, they did crazy stuff, waffle irons and, little gifts, a Mont Blanc Fox pin. I'm like, what does Fox mean? Oh, it's French for fake. So it's a Mont Blanc pin, but it's a Mont Blanc Fox pin. I'm like, I had one Mont Blanc's pin in my life. I think it cost $300. I'll never buy another one. I'm not into $300 pins, but what's a Mont Blanc Fox pin? It's a fake one. That's in the name. So they come down and pick up a $3 pin that says Mont Blanc on it. I'm like, dear God, people buying Cadillacs, $80,000 cars going down to pick up a $3 pin. Free gifts are big, big, big. They still do it. It still works. People want something for nothing, even when they're wealthy. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'd love to see it in the chat from those of you that are watching live. What are some of the things that are popping into your head right now when it comes down to contrast? What is something that you could contrast with your offer? Maybe a competitor, maybe just a general market situation. Here's what the other people do. Here's what I do, or here's what we do. How could you create a sense of urgency? How could you get a deadline that gets people to fear missing out? Reciprocity, what's something that's free that you can give? The next one, as we wait for some responses to come in, is scarcity. And similar to urgency is that you create the perception that a product or service is rare. So, and retailers do this all the time, where this is, the end of a run. This is a special run that we did. Jeff bought a Ferrari, and when they sell Ferraris, they only make a certain number of them. I don't know, how many did they make of yours, Jeff? Do you know?
3,000 F8 spiders, but it was during coronavirus. Italy was locked down. There was only 300 of them in America. You couldn't get them. So they really jacked the price up for that particular car back in 2021. It was bad timing, but then the car, I bought it and it went way up in value, which was amazing. So yeah, the Ferrari does a good job of like holding back supply. They build a limited number so not everybody can get one. And if you're not on the list, Jay Leno just went down to Ferrari Beverly Hills to buy a car and they told him no, he doesn't get a Ferrari, and he's so pissed off. He doesn't own a Ferrari. He's so mad at Ferrari because they wouldn't sell him a car. I thought it was kind of funny. This is a few years ago. Jay Leno has a beef with Ferrari because he went down there with his big money and his hundreds of cars and thought he would just buy one. And they said, no, we don't care who you are. President of the United States, you're not getting a Ferrari today. You got to go on the list. Made him mad. I think it's funny. Scarcity, Ferrari does it better than anyone. It's crazy because it just makes you want it more, you know?
Yeah, so
I was thinking, David, we had a guy come by and say, Jeff, I can give you a cruise, a 3-day cruise. It goes from like Long Beach to Catalina to Ensenada, Mexico, maybe down to Cabo, and it comes back. It's like a $3,000 cruise. I can give you certificates for $300. I can sell them to you, and it puts them on the boat, $300 instead of 3,000. Of course, they got to buy airfare. They got to buy a drink package. They're probably going to gamble on the boat, and whoever it was, Carnival Cruise Lines, Royal Caribbean. I'm like, that's a pretty good deal. So if you get married at Hawk Ranch this month, or if you book your wedding at Hawk Ranch, we're going to give you a $3,000 cruise honeymoon for $300. So that's a good offer that I'm working on right now in my wedding business. If they buy a $20,000 wedding, they get a $3,000 cruise that only cost me $300. I want to make sure it's not a scam. There's a lot of scammy cruise companies out there, just to make sure it's not a crappy offer. But it's a big cruise ship, and it's a good cruise. And I've paid $3,000 for a cruise to Mexico for 3 days. So there's some good offers out there where you can, again, add on. We only have 7 cruises left. We're selling 8 weddings a month. If you want this free cruise, you got to buy your wedding this month. And it's good, to put a little pressure on to help sell. But it's marketing. Sales is marketing, right?
yeah, so definitely utilizing outside resources like a certain amount of prizes or a certain amount of rewards that people could gain access if they took action on whatever it is that you're asking them to do. Using countdown timers, there's 10 left, then there's 9 left, then there's 7, and then 5. People start to fear this idea that they're going to miss out on this special offering. And again, you can restock and, oh, hey, we just got a brand new shipment in, or hey, we just made 10 more available because of whatever change in the circumstances. So you can change the scarcity, but this is something that you want to be, again, reminded, use it ethically, honestly, and not every single week, every single day. If you say the same thing over and over again, it's going to be like the boy who cried wolf, that when the wolf is really there, nobody's going to come because you've abused the opportunity or abused the
There's a furniture store in LA right by the airport that has had a going out of business sales sign up for 12 years. And there's so many tourists and so many new people moving to LA, they don't even care. But I'm like, that doesn't seem right. 12 years going out of business sale, 300% markup on furniture. So everything's 50% off and they're still making a fat profit. Furniture stores, just pay attention to the big successful businesses and how they're doing it. Look at their marketing, go through and do the demo, sign up and sit through the timeshare presentation, ask questions. I think it helps to be curious. Dave, I've got a hard stop in like 4 minutes because I'm going to look at a house for sale. So I'm going to be, I'm going to bounce in about 4 minutes, but anything you want me to wrap up, I'd love to talk to some of these prospects and clients about their offer. As you can tell, I'm passionate about this stuff.
Yeah, I know we got limited time. So Sue, you want to share what your offer is currently and have Jeff give some perspective on it?
Sure thing. I just put a bunch into the chat, but so I have 2 businesses going. This is the retreat center. We're not ready to talk about that one yet. What I'm doing meanwhile is I've had a freelance writing business for 20 years. What we do now is free 5-day educational email courses. My perfect prospect is a home improvement business that's doing at least 500,000 a year, preferably a little bit more than that. What they're typically running into is a lot of these businesses are owned by boomers who want out, but their kids do not want the business. So now they got to look at maybe selling it. One way to sell it is one huge differentiating factor is if you're in the Google 3-pack, which I think you probably know about, but if you're on Google and you search for HVAC near me, there's going to be 3 that come up and about 20 billion that you can click through, but you're not going to see them. Anybody in those top 3 is probably getting at least 212 calls for free from being on Google.
Wow.
So one way that I have one offer where I can partner with a marketing firm to have them get them into the 3-pack like that. So that ideal prospect is the marketing firm. And so I can offer to do this course for them. I was thinking I could offer it to them for free. I've done that with some of my existing clients, and then we partner on selling these courses to their clients. So that's one way. The other is approaching those clients, those business owners directly and saying, hey, you know, this is one way that you can help. If you actually build an email list of prospects and buyers, that makes your business a lot more sellable. So trying to help them with that. They might do a course like, you know, if you're HVAC, 5 different HVAC systems to consider, which one's best for you, something, you know, pretty simple like that.
So your target audience, let's just say home improvement, but HVAC is huge. And there's a ton of HVAC companies where it's like father, son, there's 1, 2 vans, 5 employees. They do $1 million a year and they make 200 grand. So that's kind of the target audience.
Yeah.
And then the offer is somehow get you to the top of Google because they're maybe older. They're not familiar with what to do on Google. So they're on page 9 below the other 300 HVAC. So that's interesting. Yeah. But what I think of right there is just the ad copy could be, you have more reviews and you've been in business longer than ABC HVAC. Why are they on page 1 of Google and you're on page 3? Call me to find out. So it's more like a question, you know, writing copy to where they know they're a little bit older. They know that they might not be real techie, and they're probably, I notice a lot of the boomers are a little embarrassed that they haven't kept up with tech. So you got to let them off the hook for that. You can't make them feel stupid. I'm a little bit older. I'm behind on tech. So don't make me feel dumb. But if you ask me a question that's engaging enough, well, yeah, that's right. I've been in business 30 years. Why aren't I on the first page of Google? I just think about the copy is written. I always say, you know, curiosity killed the cat. I love writing copy that's curious, where they're just going to have to call to find out the answer, but it's very engaging. So writing copy, you know, everybody's trying to sell Google advertising. They probably get a call a day. So you're in a crowded marketplace. How do I stand out? You know, that SEM rush that I was talking about, it's $300 a month for a subscription. You can find your HVAC dealer in SEM rush, send them a free report on why they're on page 9 of Google, and do a screenshot one at a time. You could even blend that report into a mass email that would go out individually for each prospect. So that's a way to increase the offer. To give them a free report, you're giving them something of huge value. You're not ranking for the air conditioning keyword. And look at this report. Look at everybody ahead of you with a couple simple tweaks, and you pay me $500. I can get you on the first page of Google. Those are just ringing true in my head, like how to write the copy, how to give them something of value, a free report that's valuable, so that you give something to them, they want to reciprocate and at least make a phone call to you. And I'm talking about every 1,000 people right now, you get 1 call. Maybe now you'll get 3. It's not like 100 of them are going to call you. It's just little tweaks that'll make incremental differences. I mean, I'd love to do a deeper dive into something like that and really put on my list offer thinking cap to create an offer to separate you from the competition. And you know what? I'm on Google. I'm doing sponsored ads for weddings. If you Google Marietta weddings, I wasn't even running sponsored ads until like 4 months ago. So I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, so now we're doing it and we're getting a lot more leads and a lot more weddings. It's amazing. I'm spending $2 grand a month on Google. I'm selling an extra 2 or 3 $20,000 weddings. So I didn't even learn this until a few months ago. Because like I said, I'm old school. I'm more, you know, direct mail, email, but sponsored ads. I mean, I'll figure it out pretty quick. Who's the audience? What's the offer? Some of our offers are getting fun. We're writing some new copy. Anyways, deeper dive, that would be fun.
Yeah,
you know?
Sue, why don't you send us a message and definitely get on a Zoom with you. We'd love to go a little bit.
Yeah, it'd be
deeper
fun.
with
Okay,
I love
great.
it.
Thank you. Appreciate
Cool.
that.
We'll
Dave,
keep
I'm
trucking
out.
along, Jeff. Safe travels, and we'll move on to the next one, which is opportunity.
Thanks.
So we'll see you. So we've got contrast, urgency, reciprocity, scarcity, and opportunity. So opportunity is more on the side of providing specialty services to a select audience and making them feel more exclusive. So like Jeff talked about that card at the gambling casino. only certain people get that card. What are the things that you are doing to create exclusivity where a client or a candidate feels value and appreciative? So in Tony's world, he works a lot with real estate agents. So he could make a special offer where only a select group of hand-selected agents are going to get invited to this special event that he's going to be hosting. He could go in there and choose his VIP customers, or Marshall could select a group of VIP business owner clientele or business owner candidates, and you could offer them something that's special and letting them know that you're saving them a seat should they be interested in participating, but it's reserved for this exclusive audience. If you do things like that, you can also get more word of mouth opportunity for referrals, because anybody that's a happy customer that received an exclusive offer that gets wowed is a better chance of referring you to somebody else. So obviously it's got to be a wow type of experience. You can't give them an exclusive offer and then have it not be valuable to them. That's coming back to knowing product market fit. But what could you do to provide an exclusive opportunities for your candidates or your clients or customers to be wowed by what it is that you offer? And could you make it to be so irresistible where it has scarcity and urgency and maybe a few other principles involved in it, where you actually get a good response rate? Has anybody ever done something like this where they've done something special for an exclusive audience? I'm going to go back to um, gallery view to see if I can pick up anybody. Anybody have an experience with offering an exclusive offer to a particular audience? Tony, anything that you've done in the past?
I've certainly held happy hours exclusively for my best agents and my biggest referral partners. Just, spend a couple $100 on appetizers and drinks and make them feel like they mean the world to me, which they do. I mean, they're my lifeblood. So, yeah, we do those all the time. Like to try and do them quarterly if possible.
Very cool. How about you, Augustine? Anything that you've done where you've offered some sort of exclusive offer to a specialty group?
I haven't tried yet other than gift cards. That's what we've done. Just a way of thanking them to like their special, whatever special stories, whatever I picked up from them, like they like whatever they like. So it's just typically been just gift cards for referrals.
Yeah. So be thinking about maybe how does that play into the future opportunities that you'd like to have? What's your target audience? What's the area that you'd really like to expand in? And how could you create a bit of an exclusive or unique environment, a backdoor entry, a red carpet type of experience that would be a limited number of people, and they would know that they're special because they were being invited to this sneak preview or this sneak special event that you're going to be putting on. The next one is in the area of risk reduction. Many of you understand that, when you lower the chances of failure, lower the chances of disappointment, you're going to have a better chance of getting more people to step up. So utilizing service-based guarantees inside your unique selling proposition or unique value proposition can help you to differentiate yourself from all of the other competitors out there. Think about what's the one thing that many people complain about as it relates to your industry. What's the biggest problem or miscommunication, or is it, in Tony's world, it may be a higher interest rate than what I was quoted, that I got to the closing table and the prices had changed or the closing cost had changed. In Sarah's environment, it might be where people end up not delivering results. They maybe pay for services, they pay for coaching services, and they may not necessarily get what they wanted to accomplish. Or maybe there was some miscommunication in the setup time. Maybe it was a constant postponement. So maybe you could offer a service-based guarantee that would guarantee them a certain amount of communication, or they receive some form of benefit. Maybe not a total money back guarantee, but maybe there's a limited amount of period of time. Obviously, you don't want to risk your entire profit without having some small print. That's why there's small print, is because service-based guarantees can definitely rob you of future profit with some unscrupulous people that maybe take advantage of you. So you want to make sure that you've got your fine print so that you can protect yourself. But it helps you to build long-term relationships when you end up providing some form of a risk reduction service-based guarantee. So like I told Tony and Augustine, we're both in the mortgage industry. I had something called my communication guarantee, that if somebody called, emailed, text into our office, if they didn't get a call, text, or an email back within 24 hours, we had a $100 customer service communication guarantee, because that was one of the most common things during the busiest season where people weren't getting communicated with. So I just eliminated that and provided an opportunity. The last one in the Cursors acronym is the area of social proof. Many of you know this, but you may not be using it. So customer reviews and testimonials. How many of them have you received? If you are a newer business and you don't have a lot of customers and testimonials, where could you get influencer endorsements? Could you get friends, family members to participate in what you have to offer and give you an endorsement, just so that you have something that's available for other people to hear about your credibility or your experience? Obviously, influencer endorsements, you can partner with much higher influencers and pay them to endorse your product and services, but using friends, family members, and people that you have a relationship with would be a great start. Social media engagement is another one, showcasing the number of followers, likes, or shares your business has. Like Jeff talked about, having that list of all of those weddings. That's one way of edifying the fact that, there's 47 other venues out there, but there's all these people that chose us. You can also go in there and maybe some of you have seen this, where you can actually display, I know Amazon, I think, does this, where it says, X number of people have purchased this product in the last 30 days, or there's been certain amounts of transactions by this number of people. So again, it just provides validity to the fact that people are using this service. So where could you improve on your social proof when it comes to your offer? Do you have a list of testimonials? Do you have a way of collecting testimonials? We talked about this previously, but a very simple way of collecting testimonials is to put a checklist together so that every person that comes through your organization gets asked for a testimonial, and you ask for a survey. Scale of 1 to 10. Excuse me. Scale of 1 to 10, 10 being best, 1 being worst. How would you grade our customer service? Question number 2. If we were not a 10, what can we do to get better? That simple process will help you to collect more reviews, and you'll oftentimes get some constructive criticism or constructive feedback on things that you could do better that you were not aware of. So those are our 7. I hope that you got all those down. If you didn't get a chance to write them down, I'll put them up here on the screen again. So these are the 7 things that we're going to focus on when it comes down to creating an irresistible offer. But I'd love to collect some feedback on maybe some of the things that you added into your offer. So I know, Sarah, you're still working on refining your offer. Any of those 7 principles kind of stand out to something that you'd like to implement?
I think all of them were really good. Some of them I need to put more time to thought, because like the scarcity, the urgency, those are so important. And I just need to figure out how. I think it would be that there's only a limited number of spots of people that we could work with. I'm working actually with 2 partners for a very big offer. I have the audience, so I reached out to I reached out to one big person, and they brought in another person. So there's 3 of us. It's going to be like a $60,000 offer. I'm doing a presentation August 21st. And what I'm realizing with your listening today is that I could definitely incorporate the scarcity and urgency, and that there's only a certain number of people that would be able to buy this offer, because it does entail, delivery things that we can only help so many people,
Yeah.
So,
Limited
yeah,
quantity of time. I mean, there's only
Yeah.
so much time. You could also, this is one of the things that we talked about, sharing with integrity, but also having
Mhm.
some control, is that you could decide that it's only going to be 5 people. And
Yeah.
then you can decide to extend it to 10
Mhm.
with an extreme high level of integrity.
Mhm.
And you could know that it's got a capacity of 10. You could
Mhm.
also say, you know what? I'm going to double capacity and make it 20. I
Mhm.
originally thought I was only going to do 5,
Mhm.
so I started with 5.
Right.
But as I've had a chance to acknowledge the need for the services, I've organized things so that I can handle more capacity. But only
Yeah.
you can decide what that looks like. But if you could come out of this session with one specific thing that will help you to improve your offer,
Mhm.
would it be scarcity? Or would it be social proof? I mean, you've got 2 big influencers. In my mind, that would be something that I would highly leverage,
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
a picture of them with
Mhm.
a short little endorsement.
Mhm.
When I wrote my book, Live an Extraordinary Life, I reached out to some of the people that I was kind of a fanboy of, because I thought, I'd heard other people say that this is a big thing.
Mhm.
Dan Miller was one of them. Brian Tracy was another one. I had actually interviewed John Gordon, who wrote many different books. Energy Bus was the one that I had interviewed him about his Energy Bus book 20 years ago. And I had his email address from 20 years ago. And I sent him an email and I said, hey, John, I just want to let you know, 20 years later, I actually wrote a book and I interviewed you on your book. Would you be open to giving me an endorsement for mine? He
Wow.
wrote it.
Wow.
That in itself, I've had many people that have looked at the book and had said, you've got some big hitters that have endorsed your book. They don't realize
Right.
that all I did was ask.
Right.
I
Right.
didn't
That's
have a
great.
deep friendship with Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy actually changed the name of the book. I sent an email. I had a friend of a friend. I
Mhm.
had met Brian Tracy in person through another business. So he knew of me, didn't know me personally. But I sent him a request through a friend of a friend, and he responded back and said, I've written 99 books. And I enjoyed reading the summary. He didn't read the whole book. He read the summary, and he said,
Mhm.
I read the summary and I wrote this paragraph, almost the longest one I got. And he said, I would encourage you to change the name of the book from The Extraordinary Life to Live an Extraordinary Life. I'm not going to argue with a guy that wrote 99 books.
Right.
I changed the name of it. And it was all because I just had the courage to ask. And so, Tony, you've been a high performer in your business for a long period of time. You've got some major players that are referring you business. How many of them do you have displayed on your new fancy website to say nice things about your new organization, about who you are, about the principles that you live by? Sue, you've got some successful clients I'm sure that you could have endorse you. And again, as you have this new business starting up, you can leverage those people to speak about your character and about your trustworthiness and about your delivery of services. You don't have to have them talk about specifics to the fact that you help them with a writing course. Augustine, you've got, I'm sure dozens of people that you could go to and have them give you an endorsement. You could have pictures of homes on your website to say, here's a list of all the different businesses that we've had. Marshall, I'm sure that you could do the same thing with inside of compliance. You could organize some structure around the idea of credibility and introductions. David Bush would be one of the people that would say, you know what, Marshall's a trustworthy guy. He's a guy that says what he's going to do and he does it. That's something that you could leverage, I'm sure, with people that know and like Dave Bush, um, whatever that's worth, published author, noted, infamous coach. But anyway, we're a few minutes over. Thank you so much for spending an hour. I hope that you all have gained some value out of this particular course, and I hope that you give good feedback to us for what we've created here. If you haven't gone to the website, growmyprofit.com, you can take a look at the online learning platform, the Scale University. You can also complete our business assessment. And one of the things that we offered to make it irresistible is to do a private Zoom session with those of you who are interested in actually having your offer broken down. And guess how much that costs? It's free. and we are giving away a free set of pans. Every Wednesday, come back and get a new pan in the set. No, anyway, we'll see you all hopefully next Wednesday when we do our next session. So thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.